Hi, welcome back. And I just wanted to say that yesterday we talked about transitional disruption. Don't worry, how I learnt that lesson was absolute gold for me, because I put the key in the door of a business that I'd made a big mistake about. I'd lost my passion and I was just going through so much grief with it at the time that we worked out we'd lost the passion. It was just day after day drudgery, and we put the key in the door, and that felt so great because we'd actually made the decision, but we were never going to get through this turmoil because we just couldn't see the other side because of events and that had taken place. Our passion had gone. So that's just a little bit of advice to say this stuff comes from real experience. Now, why does our system, our worry-free life system, work? Because people are telling you to imagine, visualize this, visualize that, do this, do that. And if you're in trouble and if you've got your back against the wall, the last thing that you want to think about is a house overlooking some bay and a boat and a car and watches. Now, these are all lovely things and they can be part of your vision, but when you've got your back against the wall, you've got to bring that vision back nearer you, because there's no possible way. When I was on the floor and people were telling me, I was reading all this stuff about imagining this and imagine this goal and that goal, and the only thing I wanted to do was put a bit of grub on the table, have a drink up the pub and get back in the game. So what we do differently on Worry Free Island and with the course Worry Free Life is we put your mind in a situation where it actually receives and accepts this stuff and it makes sense of it. Because if someone's talking to you and you're not ready to accept it, it's just flying all over the place and you're not making any sense of it. So really, this is exactly the concept, and this is what made me decide to work on Worry Free Life. Let's just imagine this is the brain, okay? And in the brain, we've got all the things that have happened in our life, all the good and bad things that have happened in our life. And every time that we make a decision about anything, we go out looking for all this information and we bring it back. So sometimes your brain can actually make you do things that you don't really want to do because of this programming that you've had in the past, okay? Now, when you go on holiday, you tend to live in this area here, which I call the play area, okay? We have all these funny names on the island. That's the play area. This is the 90% of the brain that people think that is just on autopilot, and that's the bit there that you use on the day-to-day life. So when you're on holiday, you're living in the play area and none of this stuff really comes into play. None of it. You're just here, you're enjoying yourself, and you know, life's going on. You're lying on the beach, you're having a gin and tonic or whatever your drink is, and everything's good. So you're not pulling on any of the stuff in the past, all the problems and all the headaches that you've got back home. The phones are 10,000 miles away, there's no one pestering you, and your mind actually relaxes. And you've been there yourself, or you imagine you're on holiday, all the ideas that come into your head are the things, how you solve the problems, and it's all going to work. But unfortunately, you jump on the plane on the way home. Qantas there, just a little advert for Qantas, I'll get my money later. Okay, so you get on the plane on the way home, and when you get on the plane, at where you're departing from, and the holiday island, and you're sitting there and everything's going to be great, everything's going to happen, and you're going to make these things work. All the stuff that you thought about while you were on holiday, you're going to make it work. And as that plane gets nearer and nearer and nearer and nearer to your destination, by the time you get here, all this crap has come in. You're back into this bit here, and all these bits here are now coming into play. But take heart, you know that you've got the ability to blank this lot out and make good decisions, okay? But we're programmed that we need to be all stressed out to actually sort of get through life at the moment, and it's not really a good thing. When you start realising how much control you've got over your life by just putting your mind in the right condition, it'll amaze you. I actually annoy Val very much sometimes when things apparently seem to be going so wrong, and she says, don't you ever worry. But I just use the old two, this is a bit I'll slip in here, I wasn't going to put this bit in here, but I use the old two sentence questions, the two questions that will get you over any hiccup. If you've got a problem, or you think you've got a problem, you just ask 2 questions. Is there anything I can do about it? Have I done everything I can? Right? Is there anything I can do about it? Have I done everything I can with regards to that situation? Now, if there's something you can do about it and you haven't, it's like what we talked about on day 1, where that's like leaving the dodgy tyre on the car. So if you've done everything you can and there's nothing more you can do, sling it in the bin until such time as it presents itself as a real problem. But I'll tell you something, I've been on this earth 64 years this year, and every single thing, when I look back in the past, of the things that drove me mad and I stressed out and worried about, when they never actually happened, or when I actually saw them, they weren't really as bad as what I thought. So we discuss all that in the course. We put it all in a nice little course so that it makes sense to you, and all of a sudden you find that you're going to get control over your life. All right? Catch you tomorrow. Good one tomorrow.